What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And there's a lot of nonsense going on. In fact, AOC is back on the scene, delivering nonsense, leaving trails of it all over the place. And yet somehow she's managed to just stumble her way all the way into Congress, which is just puzzling. So I guess what we need to do is just check whether we're the problem or maybe she's the problem. I don't get it. See, I think the average person is pretty smart. And so I figure I'd give everybody a IQ test that might gauge whether we're able to look at some random things and compare it to AOC and wonder what would probably be better in Congress, AOC or these things. So, just start off, first item. Take a look at this first item. All right. Now, take a look at AOC. And which one of these items do you think possess the higher IQ and probably would be a little better in, helping out in our society and in New York in Congress? That's a tough one. You know what? Let's go to the next question. Okay, and there's AOC. Tell me, which one of these pictures would probably be a little more better in communicating plans and policies and strategies for New Yorkers? Would it be AOC or this pile of poop with flies flying all around it? Okay, and of course, the last one, we just want to check y'all IQ. Let's see here. There we go. Oh, wait, not the last one. We actually got two more. Here's one. Okay, all right, there we go. Okay, there you see a picture of a snail. And of course, then there is AOC. I don't know. That's pretty tough. But I might have to give it to the snail. Yeah, because see, even though AOC is a human, the snail actually processes thoughts a lot quicker than she does. Okay. And you know what? In all fairness, let's go with one more bonus round to see what is more, I'd say, intelligent and productive. Would it be this picture? Or would it be AOC? If you answered nothing, that is correct. This picture of nothing actually is smarter than AOC. Unfortunately, AOC is representative of Congress, which I have no idea how she made it to that level. And she decided to go on TV, or at least in a town hall meeting, and talk about all of the current violence in New York and the uptick. And she has a theory of what the problem is. Now, I'm sure when she decided to do her town hall meeting, all of the Democrats probably were biting their fingernails like when Joe Biden gets up and he says something. Because see, AOC is that person in the Democratic Party, along with a few others. You got your Ilhan Omars, your Tlaibs, and all of those that are guaranteed to say something really stupid and reveal either how dumb the Democrats are or their diabolical schemes, okay? Now, of course, since YouTube has been, demonetizing me as a black man who simply wants to express my opinion and my political views, I'm going to have to be very careful about how I criticize AOC and all of her brilliance and her response to these questions that this brother has. So let's get into it and let's hear her wonderful, wonderful idea and her, I guess, suggestion of the uptick in violence. Let's check it out.
Says, I am on board with the goals of reforming policing, but what will the process be that will still keep communities safe? And how do we spread the message during these spikes in violent crime? I'm going to.
Uh-oh. Now, you mean to tell me they're asking her stuff? Now, that ain't what Democrats are used to. They don't like when people ask them stuff and they have to give answers. So right now, in her brain, nothing is going on. And Nothing is like, man, look, how you gonna draw something from nothing? We ain't got nothing to work with. So let's just go ahead, let our mouth drop open, and whatever comes out, just comes out.
Continue. A constituent from Morris Park says, I am very concerned about the uptick in violence and homicides in our city. Children are being shot. Some are witnessing their parents being shot to death. The anti-crime unit was disbanded, and AOC is a proponent of defunding the NYPD. How is any of this keeping New York City residents safe? Another constituent from Sunnyside.
Uh-oh. Some people are asking some real questions. It appears that some of the people in New York are paying attention to all of this rhetoric on TV that all of these Democrats are talking about when it comes down to, you know, the police and defunding and all that stuff and who's at fault, as their cities are starting to be ravaged with violence, and includes kids and all kinds of people being shot in broad daylight. But AOC doesn't care because, see, the bigger plan is to go ahead and destroy the police so that, you know, we can go ahead and reinvent something and throw this garbage new system of fuzziness out there to make everybody feel good about each other, and therefore it should deal with racism and violence. But let's continue listening and see how she responds to this brilliant question.
Another guy says, how do you feel about defunding the police with the recent uptick of crime, not only in New York, but other cities in America? Do you plan to give up any police protection afforded to you? And lastly,
uh-oh, it's getting personal. She's gonna be like, food goes in here. That's all I know. Yeah, that's all I can really give you. I know that food goes in here and poop comes out down there. That's about it. Let's continue.
A constituent from Allerton in the Bronx says, will there be any future plans for abolishing the NYPD? If so, what are they? If not, why isn't there any plan?
I'll just try to kick it off because I know there are some specific questions with me, and then I'll send it straight over to Ms. Carr and Ms. Malcolm. So first and foremost, I don't have police protection. I never have. Like, I don't have a personal detail or anything like that. And my community looks out for me. And, you know, we've even had funny situations where one time New York One came to interview me. And so I was going to meet them by my apartment. So the van was there, and I go in to roll up to my building, and my neighbors were like, hide in the grocery store. They're looking for you. And I was like, don't worry, guys, it's fine. But moving forward.
Now, I highly doubt that the community looks out for AOC. Honestly, they probably either ignore her or don't recognize her. I'm not sure what's going on. In fact, I even question if she ever returns to her community. I mean, I don't think they've seen her since she won. But hey, that's just me. But let's continue.
Forward, you know, I think there's something about this uptick in crime. Let me make something super clear for everyone here having this question. The New York City Police Department has not been defunded. Even with these budgetary changes that were proposed in City Council, A, they're not fully enacted. B, they aren't a real $1 billion in cuts. And C, it's not really, like these cuts aren't really real. And again, they haven't even happened yet. Literally have not even happened yet. So keep in mind that this uptick in crime that's happening right now is with a $6 billion New York City Police Department budget. So
but it also is with the New York mayors, governors, and politicians destroying the reputation of the police, not backing the police, signing all types of bills that would hold the police personally liable for anybody who feels like, which I don't know anyone who's ever been arrested that felt like they should have been arrested. Everybody, hey man, this ain't right, man. Get off me, man. Y'all play too much. I ain't even do nothing. I only shot 3 people. Why y'all got to be picking on me? So now the police got to get what? Their own insurance. They're going to be held liable. Police getting punched. They're getting sprayed with water bottles, all of that stuff, because the people are getting the message from people like her and de Blasio and Cuomo that it is open season on the police. So now what's happening is, as this is all being put in place, the police has gotten a message, along with the criminals, that we don't matter anymore. If we step up, put our life on the line, risk our lives and save lives, there's a good chance that people like her and the rest of them will throw the police under the bus. So you know what happens? Police sits under a bridge, chilling, drinking coffee, eating a couple of donuts, while the criminals know that they have full reign to destroy everything. But that's not the reason why, because AOC is about to deliver to the punchline. She's about to deliver it, y'all. So let's check it out.
$6 billion, up to $11 billion. But our $6 billion budget has not prevented this uptick in crime. We have funded more and more. We have shoved more and more and more money every single year into the NYPD, $6 billion. And it has not prevented this uptick in crime. So why, but let's back up. Why is this uptick in crime happening?
Here it comes. Are y'all ready for it? This is what goes on in this person's brain. Now, I'm just a little concerned about how she made it to where she's at. I mean, I'm just looking around to think what else could have done it. If she made it into Congress, this right here got a good shot. Come here, Gizmo. Gizmo has a great shot at making it into Congress. Matter of fact, hello, I'm a fake squeaky hippopotamus. I will be running for Congress against AOC in November. Please vote for me. And this hippo will most likely win if this woman made it to Congress. Unbelievable. All right, let's finish it up.
Really think about it. Well, this uptick in crime, you know, the NYPD themselves have told a story that's disproven by their own data.
What does that have to do with anything? You know what has to do with something is all of these people getting shot every weekend and throughout the week. These fresh, new, hot off the press crimes that's really kicking up because, of course, the subliminal message that AOC and the rest of the Democrats have sent to all of the criminals. You can do whatever you want to the police, have your way with them, and nothing will happen to you. Let's continue.
At first, the NYPD, they went out and they said, okay, this uptick in crime is happening because of bail reform, because of all of these reforms that we had now. Wait, but they just released data a couple weeks ago that showed that out of almost all the people who have been found to have kind of committed crimes, etc., almost none have been re-released due to the bail reform. Like their actual crime data from the NYPD, not even independent data, disproves what they're own saying. So why is this uptick in crime happening? Well, let's think about it. Do we think this has to do with the fact that there's record unemployment in the United States right now? The fact that people are at a level of economic desperation that we have not seen since the Great Recession? Maybe this has to do with the fact that people aren't paying their rent and are scared to pay their rent. And so they go out and they need to feed their child and they don't have money. So you maybe have to, they're put in a position where they feel like they either need to shoplift some bread or go hungry that night.
You know, maybe people are afraid to go pay their rent, which I'm not sure what that means. I mean, I could go in there and pay my rent and burst into flames. Spontaneous combustion has been known to take place when one goes in to pay their rent. I don't even understand why one would be afraid to do that. But her third reason was people might be hungry for bread, thus taking us back to my initial little IQ test. So let me understand this. They're shooting babies in cribs because they want loaf of bread. They mistook the baby as a loaf of bread. I don't get that. When I saw the guy pull up and shoot the guy in broad daylight in front of his daughter, he didn't see any bread on this dude. Are you sending a subliminal message? Is bread like money? I'm not sure what you're talking about. That right there revealed that she has no reason to be in Congress. She has no idea what to do for her own people in that area. They should expect more, but you know what? I can't even blame her. They voted her in. They allowed her to keep operating, saying the stupid stuff she says, all of that stuff with no consequences. So unfortunately, you get what you get. A box of rocks, nothing, a snail, a pile of poop with flies spinning all around it. And I hope that this napkin that I showed, or the squeaky hippopotamus, beats her in November, whenever she's up for election. And if not, I'm going to tell you right now, all the people in New York need to go ahead like Snake Plissken from Escape from New York and get out of there. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That woman right there, I'm going to tell you, man, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Why don't the Democrats do her like Joe Biden and lock her in the basement until this is all over? Because she is damaging the Democratic Party every time she opens her mouth. And this is the woman that Joe Biden is talking about. He's going to put her in a leadership role when he wins the presidency. Anyway, y'all been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. I'm sure all you brilliant people who watch my channel passed the IQ test. I'm sure she did not rank higher than any one of those pet pictures or comparisons that I showed y'all, which shows that she's a liberal Democrat, which they have very low standards when it comes down to their politicians. Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, and notification button. Find me every Wednesday live in Kevin's Corner on Facebook, YouTube, my radio blog talk show. And don't forget to check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. If you like their products, click on something. You'll get a 20% discount by putting Kevin in the promo code, and the links are below. Want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner? Feel free. There's a link below the video to do that as well. And we will see y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. God bless.